Hi everyone, it's Sharon here, and on the You Deserve Better free monthly call in October, I shared with everyone on the call a new technique that I just found, a new healing statement or power statement, whatever you would like to call it. And it wasn't really 100% fully formed. I shared it because I was very excited because it's quite powerful. But I hadn't really given a lot of instruction or gone into it any deeper. So I promised I would do this video, so here it is. So before I get to the sentence, the healing sentence, I just want to give you a bit of a framework for understanding it a bit better. And that is, I usually differentiate between mind states and essence states. Okay, and the difference between a mind state and an essence state is really that your mind is a doer. It likes to do things. That's what it's created for. It's to take ideas and inspiration that come from spirit, come from our essence, and put things out into the world, so our bodies, and we can experience it. So the mind is a doer. It thinks it has to do something in order to get something. It doesn't really understand anything else. It doesn't really understand the beingness of our true nature. Okay, so our beingness, our essence states are really effortless, right? We don't have to do anything to get it. It's only the mind that believes that. So, for example, love, peace, joy, we don't have to do anything to get them. They are our essence. But the mind thinks, oh, I must do something to get that. And so, the mind is very much about activity and about doing stuff. And it misunderstands a lot of things because of that. And it's not its fault. It was designed that way. But when it comes to things like love, peace, joy, it doesn't really understand it. Okay? So this healing sentence, if we put it into this context, is quite important, because if you've ever tried meditation because you sort of feel a bit stressed and you've heard it's good for sort of peace and calm, which it is. You don't do meditation, but you're sitting without any activity, preferably without any mind activity, and you're returning to your being state that is effortless. It doesn't need anything from you. And actually, that's the hard bit, is we're so used to doing that and our thoughts are always going. That's a doing behavior. It thinks it needs to do something. So to return to that essence state, what meditation does is kind of say, okay, nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to be. Let's just sit in our essence. And that's where the peace, that's where the joy, that's where the love, we kind of go, oh, I recognize this. This is really nice. I love this. And that's our true nature, right? Obviously, that's not a perfect description of meditation. It's just to help with the framework that I'm offering today. So the reason why I came across this healing statement was in the last couple of months. So we're sort of in October now. The last couple of months, I've been having a lot of conversations. And in those conversations, the subject of resistance kept popping up for me. So I started to look at the true nature of resistance. And I'm a really big fan of Dr. David R. Hawkins. If you know me and my work, you'll know that I reference him all the time. And I was really interested in his how he looks at pain and suffering. And he talks about the nature of resistance and non-resistance when it comes to suffering. And I kind of came across this idea as well, because I was looking at the pain and suffering section of one of his books, because I was in pain. I've got a frozen shoulder at the moment. Well, now as of yesterday, but now I know what it is going quite quickly. But I was looking at it for pain, and that's when this sentence really sort of came through. And although I was looking at it from a health perspective, and it works really well from a health perspective, I realised it has actually got lots of applications, really great applications. And so I'm going to give you the sentence now, and just to say, I'm going to say it first with blanks, so you can fill in the blanks as you wish, and I'll give some suggestions as well. But really, you can fill in the blanks any way you wish to, okay? So the sentence is very simple. It is, I am blank in the presence of blank. So the sentence I started out with was, I am painless in the presence of pain. And you can change the wording. So I am healthy, for example. I'm healthy in the presence of ill health. I've used it, and I've played around with this a little bit, and we've played around with it a little bit on the call as well. I am peace, or I am peaceful in the presence of worry, or I am calm in the presence of stress. And the one for 2020 specifically is, I am certain in the presence of uncertainty. Now you can change those words. They don't have to be sort of opposites or anything like that. I think one of the people on the call came up with, I am love in the presence of judgment. And I sort of played around as well with, I am love in the presence of hate. Or even anger. You know, I'm peaceful in the presence of anger. You know, there's a lot of anger in the world at the moment. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of fear going on. So you could even say, I'm love in the presence of fear. Whatever it is, whatever is resonant for you in your life. And it's not that you necessarily are experiencing it directly. So you might not have anger or hate directly coming towards you. But, you know, the collective consciousness is such that there's a lot going on in the world, and there is some quite heavy energy, especially in October, really noticing quite heavy energy. And so it may just be that, you know, you want to, is what you're wanting to be in the presence of something that may not be so pleasant, okay? So the reason why I sort of started this video with the conversation about essence states and mind states is so that we can kind of look at this sentence and in a bit more of a deeper way. So the second part of the sentence, in the presence of, and then maybe ill health or pain or anger or fear or any of those things, these are all mind states. Right, even ill health. And, you know, pain, the mind is needed to interpret the signals of the body, and it says, oh, this hurts. So that's a mind state. That still comes under a mind state. You know, when there's a lot of fear around, that's a mind state. When there is stress, well, there's only one place stress comes from, that's the mind. So it's really about kind of what's happening in the physical world, and we kind of tend to sort of feel like, oh, this is just reality, or this is just society, or this is just what's happening right now. Yeah, and that's fine, but it is a mind state. It might be a collective mind state, or it might be your individual mind state, but it is still a mind state. So we're saying in the presence of that, and just so to be clear, right, this is without judgment, right? So we label it and we say, oh, well, fear is bad, or anger is bad, or hate is bad. And we've labelled it, we've judged it, and then what happens then is we want to resist it. And that resistance is actually part of the suffering. So instead of suffering and resisting it, we're actually just going to acknowledge it. We're acknowledging that there's pain. We acknowledge that there is ill health. We're not trying to change it. We're not trying to judge it. We're just acknowledging its presence and saying, hey, in the presence of this, I'm choosing this. I'm choosing to activate my essence state. Okay, so in the presence of this mind state, which is maybe making me feel uncomfortable, I'm activating my true nature, which is the first part of the sentence, the I am painless, or I am love, or I am whatever you want to put in that blank space, right? So when we are saying the I am painless, or I am love, is we're activating our essence, our true nature, are, you know, the most loving part of us, the most compassionate part of us, and the most peaceful part of us, the most joyous part of us. And we're saying, even in the presence of this, it's okay that it is present. I mean, it's okay that it's present, but in this presence, I'm choosing this. I'm activating this about myself. And these two things are within me. The mind state and the essence state, they're both kind of within us, right? So we can't get away from what is within us, but what we can do is accept it. And that's why I say acceptance is the doorway to all the good stuff in life. You know, the things that we resist persist. You may have heard that phrase. And if we can just accept that, yeah, okay, I have pain, but I'm also painless. I can be both things. I think that's a really beautiful thing, to be able to say that to ourselves without the judgment. Because often we say, I'm in pain, and then we judge that pain. Why am I in pain? What's wrong with me? And we start piling on all these judgments. But if we just say, okay, well, there's pain here. There's pain here. I accept that there's pain here. But at the same time, I also accept that I can be painless, that I am painless. I know there's fear here, but I'm also loving. I know that there's stress here, but I'm also calm. Okay? So, you know, I've been using this sentence and I've found it to be really, really powerful. And that's why I wanted to share it with everybody as soon as I came across it. But I hope that this description is kind of helps put it into a clearer framework. And what I would say as well, and a little top tip that I've got about this is, it's one thing to kind of just say the sentence. So you can say, I'm painless in the presence of pain, for example. But we kind of, if we're just saying it from where we would traditionally locate the mind, we kind of locate the mind up here, obviously, because that's where our brain is. But if we're locating it here and we're kind of saying it from like this place, it's not as powerful, because what we're doing is we're activating our essence. Now, you know, we could have a long conversation as to where your essence is, but for the purposes of this technique, let's just assume it's in this space. You know, when we talk about our heart space or we talk about our essence, we tend to sort of put our hands on our heart. Or maybe even if you're talking about a certain subject in life where you think, well, a particular chakra is more relevant, well, then maybe, you know, speak from that chakra place. Otherwise, you can speak from you can't see me, but my dantian, your energy center, kind of in your gut area. You can speak from wherever, but what I would suggest is don't speak from the mind area, speak from the body area. Because what I've noticed is that as you say this sentence, it's almost like you start to expand and something starts rippling out, your essence starts growing because you've allowed it permission to have space within you. And so it's actually a really nice feeling. And like I said, I had a pain in my arm, which comes from the frozen shoulder. And I can't say I've actually managed to do it perfectly when it comes to excruciating pain. That's still going to take some practice. But in everyday average pain, just generalized soreness and pain, whenever I say I'm painless in the presence of pain, it's already slowed down when I went to say it because I'm talking quite fast. But when I'm painless in the presence of pain, and I say it from here, the pain just disappears. It just goes. It evaporates completely. It's almost like I don't have a body, which I don't from an essence point of view. And I'm absolutely in painless beingness. So I've been using it, so I highly recommend it. But yes, you can use it for any situation. So that's the full explanation as it stands at the moment. I'd love for you to try it. Try it in different areas and let me know. Let me know how you get on with it. You can add comments here, on the website, on my Facebook page, You Deserve Better at the Original Blueprint, Instagram, find me anywhere. Obviously I'm sharing this because I'm very excited about it and I think it's really helpful, so I would love to hear your comments with it.